And we are in post-show.
This is the post-show.
Sorry, we've been having a good time with Leslie. And
I'm so sorry I even asked.
she told us right before we went on the air whether we all hate vocal fry or not. No, we're all just...
We hate vocal fries.
Oh, it's so good. I was so into this morning. Did he make that? No. Okay. So / Nick in the chat room was asking if Tombstone made that song for us. No. He did not. In fact, I don't think it appears on any of his albums. We contacted him. I contacted him and asked him, "Hey, can we use this because it's fucking awesome?"
Was it just on YouTube? I think. Was it just on YouTube?
Yeah, it was just a YouTube thing, and he said, "Yeah, that's cool." So. For sure, you should go check out his other music. He is a prolific motherfucker. That guy writes a lot of music all the time. I mean, he's been doing it since like 2013, I want to say 2000. I don't know. But he's got like he's coming out with a new album this year. We should probably get him on the show to talk about it. But
yeah.
That'd be cool.
I love the hell out of that song. It's called My Stand if you want to go out and find it on YouTube.
Maybe we could like flow with him and stuff.
No, you can try and flow with him or whatever it is you want.
What is that called? Like freestyle with him. Yeah, there we go.
So if you're in the chat room right now and you can freestyle, maybe this is
no.
a chance to on the show.
Reb has just volunteered.
No, I said I'd flow with him.
Okay.
And I don't know what that is. I don't think he'll know what it is either, so
I think I'm gonna go to Urban Dictionary and find out what flow means, and then Reb is up for doing it. Shelley Siegel, sure.
We talked about that.
We did a little bit, but her music is so kind of like, I don't know, not chill. Our outro music originally was a local heavy metal band who did a song just for our show, and no, I do like Shelley Siegel's music. Sorry, I'm talking to the chat room now, and you guys can't hear what they're saying. Yeah, Shelley Siegel is great. Fuck you hiding at work. Christian got a haircut and his head looks normalish size-ish. Fuck you. I have to say, we went to see Combat Christ and the Birthday Massacre last night. I have not showered, and that...
Are you serious?
I'm totally serious.
Oh my God.
I'm so gross. I'm so gross right now.
So not only
I applied a second.
You know what's funny? I was thinking about that today. How can anybody go to? Because I figured that people probably went home and just went to sleep, and I don't understand how people go to sleep dirty like that. But to keep on going, like I've had 2 showers, so
not only dirty, but just like I was still wet. We went to see them in San Antonio. That's a 2.5 hour drive, and
so lead singer that hot.
2.5 hour drive. And so by the time I got back to my house, I was still sweaty. But it was so amazing and so worth it. If you have not seen those bands,
it was so worth it.
It was so worth it.
To be fair, I was feeling extra gross because I did have the sweat dropping directly down on me.
Yeah.
So
we were like right there against.
Did y'all get in the pit?
Oh yeah. I
got knocked over.
I gotta say, I didn't get knocked over, but I have never been in a pit where I was at. I mean, the women in that pit were kicking my ass. It was mostly women in that pit. I don't know if that's Combat Christ's thing because that's the first time I've seen them. But
yeah, yep. I wasn't sure whether to rescue you or not because
I was good.
You drifted further and further away, and I was still.
So I
liked my place on the wall.
I'm slightly more concerned with Ferris's condition today. So did you just take on another level?
Yeah. I put on another layer of deodorant, and then because I can smell myself. It's so funny because I woke myself up because I can smell myself.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Did Carol also wake up at the same time?
Carolyn.
Or was she even there?
Smelling good.
I don't know. I was gone. Nothing but my own stench was waking me up. I didn't get home till like 2 a.m. So, Inspike in the chat room says, speaking of dogma debate, here's a topic for you. What do you do with atheist activists who have a large audience with a desire to debate but aren't very good at it? Can you clarify if you're talking about Smalley or not? I'm not sure. But I do know a lot of atheists who are bad at debating people. And
Ryan. No, I'm sorry.
Fuck you, you're stupid. I win.
I have to say, the Secular Student Alliance at A&M Corpus Christi has the Great God Debate where they get up and, whatever. And they have debates with believers in an open square. And there are people who get up there where it's painful for me to stand there.
Like awful.
It's totally awful. And after this last one of what were those guys who were doing the humans versus zombies? What was the name of that organization? I've never heard of them. Christians in Action, CIA. No shit. They call themselves the CIA.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
He came up to me and he was like, is it just me or was that awful? Like, not just on my side, but your side too. And I was like, no, it was really, really bad. There's nothing worse than atheists who don't know how to respond to theist claims.
And when you have an open forum like that where anybody can jump up on the mic, I mean, that's just...
You can't control it.
That's reality.
Yeah.
That's going to happen.
But also, like, you're not going to get better at debating if you don't do it.
I think it's good practice.
You're also not going to get any better if you practice it wrong.
Yeah. I don't know. So Inspike says he is talking about Smalley.
Well, what's this?
I think he goes to
Smalley.
David Smalley. He's the host of Dogma Debate.
Was there some
Nice guy.
controversy?
We met him in Austin.
Yeah.
I think he goes to the wrong place a bunch. I don't know that about David Smalley. I haven't heard him say that. All I can say is 1, read a manual for creating atheists, and 2, watch a bunch of Anthony Magnabosco videos, and you will be golden. And 3, never, ever, ever debate the Bible with anyone. Don't do it.
Unless you want to sit there for like hours on end, in which case...
No, it's
the
only thing...
It can be fun to do that.
The only thing you should ever argue the Bible about with believers is how do you know it's true?
Ezekiel 23:20.
And Ezekiel 23:20.
Oh, so sometimes I think it's fun to have theological debates about things. I mean, not every time I'm talking to a Christian am I always focused on what's your faith? How do you know it's true? Sometimes I like to just like, well, this verse, contradicts this one. I know I'm not going to get anywhere, but sometimes it's just fun, especially if it's a friend of yours.
Reb, we are advanced level internet debaters. Like I do that all the time. Like somebody yesterday said, well, the Bible said to love others, but not to, be stupid about it when they're talking about refugees. And I'm like, oh, really? Here's all these verses about loving your neighbors and helping and treating foreigners as if they were...
But didn't it feel good a little bit?
It so much feels good. And at that point, I'm not going to change their mind.
Yeah,
that's not a debate.
It's not for them at that point.
No.
It's for you.
No, I am typing and jerking off at the same time.
I'm so smart. Oh my God, I'm so smart. I know so many things. Oh God.
And if you want to prepare yourself for those kind of conversations, probably Historicity of Jesus would be a good place.
Oh, that'd be
go.
good. But that's some thick reading, though.
It's thick reading, but there's some good shit in there. There's some good shit in there.
Did you guys ever finish that?
I did.
Ferris?
Okay. No, I have not. Okay, so let's move on to another thing, which was the sheer number of atheists I have been yelling at this week who have been talking about, to borrow a term from Reb, advocating turning the Middle East into glass. I have been talking to a disturbing number of atheists this week who have been saying, kill all the Muslims, or I don't care if you kill someone as long as they're a Muslim. I'm a moral person, but if they're Muslim, I don't care.
I just, real quick, want to point out, this is not an original thought. My latently racist grandfather in 1989 said, oh, just nuke the whole thing and use a ladle to dip the oil out. That's what he said to me when I was like 9 years old or 10 years old in 1990. So you're not original at all.
That was the Reddit I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was my big thing is like I went to work and over the weekend, everything happened. And it's like, great. I know the very first thing I get to work, first question can be like, how about that French situation? What's going on with that? And then
Is that really how they approached you about it?
Yes, it's Corpus Christi.
Yeah,
dude.
what do you think about that going on now?
There's no way that's not what
Pretty
your work.
much.
There's no way that's not what your work is like, Ryan. Come on. There's no way that's not what it's
All right,
like.
a little bit, yeah. And I work with really old people too. They're like extra racist.
well, because I work with a lot of ex-military people, and like the first is like, so what we need to do is we need to use the weapon that everyone else is too afraid to name. And I was like, nuclear weapons?
He's afraid to name it.
And he's like, no, not nuclear. I was chemical weapons? And he's like, no, not chemical weapons. What other weapon do we not? The Voldemort missile?
I love the hell out of that. I really do. The missile that shall not be named.
That is a long thing to type on the side of that.
Are you kidding? I can just see it coming out of the silo. Voldemort.
And then eventually I was like, so what are you talking? I have what other things don't we? And he's like, napalm. It's like, napalm. Like, who uses napalm anymore?
Basically, what he's saying is, I want to set some motherfuckers on fire.
Yeah.
That.
Like, what is gelled gasoline going to do?
I don't know, but he thought that was the solution somehow.
You just made someone in the chat room spit beer out, so that's good.
Did any of y'all see that the interview that Bill Maher had with what's her name? I don't even know how to pronounce her name. Yeah. I like.
She's actually a practicing Muslim,
Yes.
but she's a liberal and a moderate Muslim. I thought it was a fantastic interview. More and more, we were talking during the show about not liking Bill Maher, and I stand by that remark. He says a lot of shit that I find abhorrent. Even when we went to see him here in Corpus Christi, I was like, there were some things he said. I was like, no. However, I don't need to destroy someone who I have disagreements with. This was amazing, and I agree with Bill Maher almost entirely on the Islam question.
Yeah, me too.
And she was great because she was.
What was that? I don't know what you're talking about at all.
So I mean, in general, do you remember the Ben Affleck,
Yeah, I remember
Sam
Ben
Harris
Affleck
thing? Okay, so it's a.
Okay, Ryan doesn't know about the Ben Affleck thing, so go back even further. Go back even further.
We don't need to start that.
I don't think we need.
But you know what? That was an important moment in liberal history.
It is. I think that if you don't know about that, you are.
I don't play insider baseball.
No, but
when the drama starts, I'm like, fuck it.
Things changed after that interview.
Yeah, and this
Like,
is. I
big
think.
time.
I don't think this is inside baseball. I think this is baseball.
Yeah.
I think this is.
I don't know how you got through your Facebook, week without seeing something.
I don't
that.
either. So basically, Sam Harris went on Bill Maher's show, and they started talking about the problem of Islam and terrorism. And Ben Affleck jumped in and basically called them both racists for saying that
It's racist. It's gross.
Yeah,
it's racist if you call out Islam for being bad.
It's like saying Jews are all hook-nosed Jews or whatever is what he said. And I think that was a seminal moment. I think it's more important than we're even making it sound like right now.
Well,
or maybe it wasn't that moment, or that was the moment when we really had a visual of where the split was.
Yeah, there's a separation between the people and the ideology.
Yeah.
And that was important that came out of it was the response. It's like, I can absolutely criticize the idea of Islam all I want because ideas don't deserve respect. People do, but...
So to recap, was Affleck an idiot or not?
Yeah.
I don't know what he said exactly because...
I just told you what he said. That's exactly what he said.
Okay, so he
basically
thought that attacking an idea was the same as attacking a person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because he's Ben fucking Affleck. He's an actor and he's a stupid person.
Well, I like Ben Affleck.
I do
in general.
too.
I don't like him anymore.
But I mean,
Sorry, that lost him for me.
I think what he was trying to say came from a good place. I just don't think he understood the entire concept.
No, because saying something like that doesn't come from a good place. It comes from...
Well, no, because he wanted to protect people.
This argument kept on going after the show, though. This wasn't something that happened and then just...
No, but Sam Harris said that they came to an agreement in the green room after the show. That's what Sam Harris says. He said that they concluded the conversation just fine. But I agree with what Reb is saying, is that I am so much more on board with someone who's doing the wrong thing for the right reason than someone who is wanting to launch the Voldemort missile at the Middle East and kill people for the wrong reason, doing the wrong thing for the wrong reason. Ben Affleck wanted to protect people from bigotry. He was wrong about this being bigotry, and so he's wrong, but his heart was in the right place, I think. So I gave him a pass on that. No?
No.
All right. It's just me.
It was totally wrong. I just, yeah.
No, because
He was
of
trying
the
to
point,
protect people incorrectly.
and the point that Sam Harris made was that, you know, that those few seconds, whenever he interrupted during a time that he shouldn't have anyway, those few seconds made, I mean, how many people do consider Maher and Harris just to be bigots and racists?
A lot.
Right, because he said that. Just because of that one line. No, I don't just...
It was a knee-jerk reaction. Yeah.
It was, and it was...
I feel like it was planned, though.
You feel like that was...
I feel like Ben Affleck
like he planned doing
in.
it. Yeah, no, I think he probably went in.
Yeah.
This is what I get
Wanting
for
to-
asking. Like, this totally turned into insider baseball talk.
He did.
So anyhow, there was this whole conversation about Islam and criticizing the idea and criticizing.
So
the person.
Bill Maher had a liberal, moderate Muslim on the show this week, and their interview was actually pretty amazing. And basically, she was agreeing with him and saying, you know, you can't look at Islam and say, oh, it's not a problem. It's a problem. And that doesn't mean that all Muslims need to have the Voldemort missile dropped on them. It means that you have to address the problem, which is the ideology, and not kill them all. So
Sure. And to be honest, like, Islam is one of the worst ideologies that we're dealing with right now. They're, I don't know, you want to call it slightly worse than Christianity? Not that much if you read the whole Bible, but it is worse. It's,
well, in practice, it's worse.
in practice, it's worse.
On paper, it's exactly the same.
I don't want to call it exactly the same. They're
they're
books.
both Abrahamic religions.
Yeah,
They're both
but they're not exactly the same. I'm not.
What is in the Quran that is not in the Bible?
Yeah, I don't know of many.
I can't think of
things.
a thing that's not in the Bible that's in the Quran that's not also in the Bible.
Okay, that's a fair point. So in practice, we're saying that it's worse.
Yeah.
Well, although there are Christians that practice
Right
In
now,
practice
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, today. So at this current moment, but that's switched before.
Yeah,
so.
Sure.
I mean, yeah.
If you read
and it's bound to switch again, considering the rhetoric that we hear from.
And
our
it's always
politicians.
religion.
The
Rhetoric?
The rhetoric. So both of you
What-
today, you
What
said
did I say?
considering the rhetoric.
Yeah,
Is that not
so-
how you say it?
No, rhetoric.
rhetoric.
Oh,
It's rhetorical, but it's rhetoric.
So I
might be a
want to say
pronunciation.
if you read some of the accounts of what Christopher Columbus and his people did to the indigenous people of North America in the name of Christianity, and you stripped out all the context, it could read like ISIS.
Okay, that's a fair point.
Yeah. I mean, and literally they would cut off the hands of natives. They would tie them together with a rope and hang them over their shoulders and send them into the mountains where everyone else was hiding because they did shit like this, and as a warning to everyone else. They would take babies out of mothers' arms and throw them into rivers. The rape and the murder and the mutilation and torture that they did, it reads worse than what ISIS is responsible for, and it's all based on biblical principles.
And to be fair, we're not, for as far as Christianity goes, we're not only talking about 100 years ago or 200 years ago. We're talking in Africa. They want to kill people for their being gay because
Yeah.
of
You
their
know, people here want to do that. It's
Yeah.
just our legal system prevents it a
We
little bit
won't-
more.
we won't accept it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. But we have those same awful people living here among us, especially here.
Yeah, and
I always think about that.
we're prosecuting a guy who went over to Africa to sell Kill the Gays to
Right.
Uganda.
and they bought it.
They did.
Pretty hard.
Yeah. I'm pretty hard myself. I think we're done. I think we can get. I think my pronouncements.
Tim.
good because nobody wants to be here when you're hard.
Or that fucking dirty at the same
Not
time.
no one. Not no one. All right. We'll see you guys next week, 7:30 Central on Tuesday. Shabbat.
Wow.